truth. We salute every photographer, every technician whose work keeps our democracy alive. This award is not just a ceremony. It is a testament to resilience and the enduring power of journalism. My name is Ankole Jibril Janko. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And it is my singular honor to present my co-host, the beautiful Father Janibari. Good evening, and you look stunning.
It is such a magnificent day, a milestone that we're all celebrating tonight, celebrating our journalists. It is 10 years of celebrating success, excellence, selflessness, hard work, and dedication. I can't be more proud to be part of history tonight at the Sadara Karabajara Conference Center here in Vigilo. My name is Fatu Janimbai, and I'm honored and humbled to co-host this important event or auspicious occasion here in the Gambia as we honor journalists and storytellers in this country. Humbled, and thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Information, Dr. Ismail Cisse. We have the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, called Sidin Jai. We are honored also to have, I call her mom, Madam Amin Sissoho. Ma'am, it's a pleasure to have you here. And we have our own president. Let me allow you to do that.
Thank you very much. It gives me the greatest pleasure to also recognize and acknowledge the presence of Aissatou Keita, Madam President of the Gambia Press Union. I can't be more proud of you tonight. Thank you for your service, your commitment and dedication as well to service. I would also want to acknowledge the presence of Mr. Badaron Bay, a former Managing Director of Afrisol Gambia Limited. Thank you very much. And we also would like to acknowledge the presence of the Chinese ambassador to the Gambia.
Of course.
Yes. And of course, the members of the Diplomatic and Consular Corps. We would like to recognize and acknowledge the presence of former Minister of Information, Mr. Ali Demba Jawar, and all the distinguished ladies and gentlemen here tonight at the Karaba Jawara Conference Center. It's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight to celebrate the work of journalists, and also, of course, also to give them all their flowers and acknowledge the work that they do and continue to do as well. And one thing we have to put emphasis as well, Sankule, is that journalism is not a crime. It's important that we put it out there. We're partners in development, critical partners for that matter. I would want to give a round of applause to all our nominees for tonight, and we say congratulations to all of you. Whether you go home with an award or not, you are an winner, and your work has been recognized once you've been nominated for the GPU National Journalism Awards 2025. Round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen.
And of course, we would also like to acknowledge the presence of the Clerk of the Gambia, the National Assembly, of course, Mr. Mike. You're welcome as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend our heartfelt gratitude to the panel of judges. It's been a rigorous process, so many applications. We'd also like to acknowledge those who made this celebration possible, really. Please join me in applauding the National Journalism Awards Committee for putting together a spectacular 10-year anniversary award, please. Well, at this point, I would like to inform the...
As the President of the Gambia Press Union, I am honored deeply to address this auspicious occasion, being the 10th edition of the GPU National Journalism Awards under the theme, A Decade of Excellence, Strengthening Journalism for Democracy, Accountability, and the Safety of Journalists. This year's event holds particular significance as it is 10 years since a previous leadership of the Gambia Press Union conceived and presided over the first National Journalism Awards in its current form and magnitude to honor the best works of journalists and Gambian journalism. We thank them for blazing this trail and for the foresight to promote excellence in journalism. The award has since become a huge motivating factor to all journalists to pursue stories that enhance transparency in government, accountability, and justice. Ladies and gentlemen, this year's theme was chosen to highlight the role of the journalism promoting democracy and political accountability, as well as the need to ensure the safety of journalists in the Gambia. In several societies around the world, including in the Gambia, professional journalism has over the years shown a positive influence on our democratic dispensation, civic engagement, transparency, and accountability in government. Stories that span several journalism bits and address critical governance issues like promoting the rule of law and also shedding light on transitional justice issues, as well as social and economic challenges that our country is faced with. Such groundbreaking stories that we celebrated over the years were done with utmost professionalism and in upholding our obligations and to strengthen journalism's watchdog role. It is without doubt that tonight we will see higher standards of journalism and impactful storytelling, recognized as the winning stories become better year on year. Ladies and gentlemen, despite this progress, Gambian journalists still operate under an environment of unfavorable media laws. Of notable concern is the enactment of the Criminal Offences Act 2025, which replicated the provision of false publication and broadcasting from the old criminal code. This law, which prescribes imprisoned journalists and heavy fines, goes against the promotion of democracy and accountability in governance, and a violation of press freedom in particular and freedom of expression in general. We also note with concerns new laws that are being made, like the Cybercrime Bill 2023, which has provisions that go beyond addressing false news online with a direct attempt to punish investigative journalism and to kill transparency and accountability in government. Another challenge that journalists face today is access to information, especially information related to government contracts and probes into the use of public funds. We know that accurate and publicly accessible government information is fundamental to the accountable democratic governance that we seek to achieve as a country. However, despite the existence of an access to information law, full implementation is yet to be achieved. While there has been significant improvement in proactive disclosure of public information among some institutions of government, challenges exist with regards to the disclosure of public information upon request, as most institutions have yet to designate information officers and are unresponsive to requests. We acknowledge the progress made in press freedom and freedom of expression over the years, and we commend the government for the gains made, including the enactment of the Access to Information Law in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, this year, we are glad to share a piece of good news. We are happy to announce that after several attempts, the government of the Gambia has finally allocated a plot of land to the Gambia Press Union, measuring 25 by 25 inclusively. The idea to build a national press bar is to house the Gambia Press Union Secretariat, the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication, the GPU affiliates, and the Media Council of the Gambia. Once achieved, this will end the frequent relocation of our secretariat in our 46 years of existence and address challenges of unaffordable rent prices. I will take credit for this particular development, although my predecessor started this undertaking to ensure that the GPU gets a land. From the time of Sheriff Bojan to my immediate predecessor, Mohamed Esbak. But again, it came through under my tenure, so I'll take credit for it. The objectives for the building project are as follows: to ensure the sustainability of the GPU and its subsidiaries and affiliates, to generate some funds that will contribute to the long-term sustainability of the Gambia Press Union, but also to expand the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication, As you've seen, the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication has its success written all over our faces. And with time, we need to develop this school, which is why we will also look for a place in order to be able to expand the school. The plan is to build a 5-story made up of 13 offices, 2 conference rooms, 12 classrooms that includes TV and radio studios, 20 guest rooms, and stores, among other facilities. We will be looking forward to the continuous support from the government and the development partners to realize this long-term objective of the GPU to finally have a home and to continue our long-term commitment to media development in particular and national development in general. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to conclude by extending my gratitude to the Awards Committee for their outstanding work to making sure that this 10th year anniversary becomes a success. But particular mention to Therese Gomez and Annette Kamara. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give them a round of applause. The GPU board and the staff for their unwavering support and our partners for their continued commitment to the success of the National Journalism Awards. We hope for increased partnerships next year to celebrate more excellence in journalism, but also special mention to our distinguished editors in the various newsrooms that have been able to do remarkably well to ensure that most of our reporters are able to uphold the key ethics of the profession. Let us continue to work together to uphold the principles of press freedom, freedom of expression, and democracy in the Gambia. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Hand over the Press Freedom Heroes and GPU Ambassadors Award. Please welcome on stage, sir.
Made distinguished contributions to journalism, to the promotion of press freedom and the protection of press freedom, and the promotion of freedom of expression. And this is the Gambia Press Union Press Freedom Heroes Award, given to individuals and institutions who have promoted and defended press freedom, freedom of expression, and have rendered selfless services in support of the media and media development in the Gambia. Tonight we are awarding 5 people. And for the first citation that we are to read, this award is going to Agnes John Tomasi. For more than 3 decades, Agnes John Tomasi has been a quiet but formidable force in journalism. Soft-spoken yet unwaveringly principled, she has built a reputation not only for her editorial leadership, but for something exceptional in the African fiercely competitive media landscape, an instinct for spotting talent early, and an unshakable commitment to nurturing it. Now the head of the Dakar-based West Africa Democracy Radio, Agnes Tomasi is recognized as one of the most consistent champions of young African journalists, particularly young women seeking to enter a field that can often be unforgiving. Her story, according to her colleagues, is as much about personal resilience as it is about service to the next generation. Like most Gambian young journalists, at the time, Agnes Tomasi began her career as a fresh-faced reporter at Radio Gambia, joining the state broadcaster straight out of high school in the early 1990s, a period of political turbulence and limited press freedom. Yet even in her earliest years, she stood out for her composure, her clarity of thought, and her instinctive understanding of how to tell stories that matter. Over time, Agnes moved through the ranks, becoming one of the most respected voices in the Gambian radio. Still at a young age, she earned a scholarship to Nairobi, Kenya, for a media production course. And due to her performance, she was given another scholarship to proceed to the International Institute of Journalism in Berlin, Germany, and later to the Citadel of Radio, Deutsche Welle, in Bonn, Germany. With her journalism skills and a stint as a communication officer and a consultant, broadened her horizons further. But it was her transition into regional broadcasting that widened her influence. At WADR, a transitional station dedicated to democracy, governance, and human rights, Agnes found a platform to not just to oversee programming, but to shape the very culture of West African journalism. She has this rare ability to see what someone can become long before they see it themselves, says Sheriff Bojang Jr., a Gambian journalist who is a former president of the Gambia Press Union who worked under Agnes Tomasi. She can also be a beautiful dictator in the newsroom, according to Sheriff. Through training, coaching, and constant engagement with emerging reporters across West Africa, she has helped cultivate a new wave of storytellers who approach their work with integrity, curiosity, and courage. Under her guidance, dozens of young reporters from the Gambia, Senegal, Ghana, Togo, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria have moved into leadership roles in their own organization, and many credit her for giving them their first real sense of confidence. Part of what makes Agnes Tomasi's work so significant is her commitment to opening doors for women in the media. In a sector where women often struggle for visibility and endure discrimination, she insists on bringing them to the center, pushing for their recruitment, advocating for their promotion, and confronting the subtle biases that shape newsroom culture. She has become a model of what leadership can look like for young women who rarely see themselves reflected in senior roles in the media. She tells younger colleagues that journalism is a service, a responsibility to the public, not a route to personal elevation. And it is this ethos, more than anything, that defines her legacy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the GPU's 2025 Press Freedom Hero, Agnes Tomasi, on stage. There's also a trophy there.
And I know what it means. Usually, some of us love being behind the mic and behind production, not in front. And I would humbly, as I stand before you all, with all protocol respectfully observed, from the minister to the last person, and to start with, I will give God the glory to say thanks be to God. It has been, my life has been a journey, a lovely journey, a journey where people loved me and supported me. And that is why I am here today, and that is why I love supporting others. There are a lot of people. If I say thanks, thanks, thanks to God, to my parents, to my family, husband, children, sisters, brothers, and everyone, I will start with Radio Gambia. Radio Gambia has been a training ground. Radio Gambia has been a preparatory stage that has brought some of us to where we are today. How I wish it could continue to be that strong, formidable training institution it has been. I am not here to give a speech, but I would have explained what I mean when I say this. Some of us were formed and structured, modeled to this level because of Radio Gambia, no matter where we went after Radio Gambia. And I would say that, I say it all the time, anybody I meet, and today you have them. I remember all of them, and every day I say thanks that I had the opportunity to meet them. To GPU, I say thank you. To be honest, never once did I dream that I would be standing here today to receive this award. I did not think about it. When I had the message and it was this week, it was like, wow, it was really a surprise. So I thank you for recognizing. I know you would see the long citation. It was not even written by me. When GPU asked me to send a citation, I said, I normally do not talk about myself. Let me reach out to the people I have worked with. And one of them said, I will write it. I can say everything about you. And no word is there from me. It's from the people I work with who recognize me. Even my family looked at it and they're like, my daughter, my eldest daughter said, Mommy, we can't add anything to this. This one even seems to know you more than us. And it's no other person than Sheriff Bojan Jr. with the support of my family that did the citation. So thank you. And to all of you, I say thank you, because this field is a field where all of us struggle, all of us work hard, all of us have the intention to bring about good. Journalism is not only about bringing out the ills. The ills are brought out to bring more structure, to better those that are not going the right way or things that are not going the right way. But journalism is meant to build. It is meant to develop. It is meant to further democracy, human rights. It is meant to further the human person, the human being. And like I said, I'm not here to give a speech. Thank you all. To the female journalists here, thank you. God bless you. And I wish you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next award that we're presenting tonight is going to Honorable Justice Ibrahim Jaide. The Gambia Press Union hereby presents the Press Freedom Hero Award for 2025 to Honorable Justice Ibrahim Jaide in recognition of his exceptional and principled service to the nation, his unwavering commitment to justice, and his steadfast defense of transparency, accountability, and the rule of law. Justice Jaide has demonstrated exemplary leadership in the judiciary, consistently upholding his solemn oath to dispense justice without fear or favor, affection, or ill will. Through his judgments, conduct, and public service, he has strengthened public confidence in the judiciary and contributed significantly to advancing the cause of justice in our democracy. This award further honors Justice Jaide's profound appreciation of the media as a vital partner in the administration of justice. He has consistently affirmed that a free, vibrant, and responsible press is indispensable to ensuring transparency in judicial processes, enhancing public understanding of the law, and promoting accountability in all spheres of governance. His principled stance, courage, and integrity embody the highest ideals of judicial office and reflects values that resonate deeply with the mission and vision of the Gambia Press Union. In presenting this award, the Gambia Press Union recognizes Justice Jaide as a champion of justice, promoter of access to information, and a defender of press freedom, and a distinguished servant of the people. Honorable Justice Jaide is proactive in promoting access to information to journalists covering cases before his court. He often asks his staff to give maximum support to journalists when they need information about cases he is presiding upon. He is known to be the first High Court judge to allow live video coverage in the case the state versus Yankuba Toure. So let me take that again. Known to be the first High Court judge to allow live coverage in the case the state versus Yankuba Toure, Justice Jaide is seen as a role model in bench bar press relations, according to court reporters. What is fascinating about Justice Jaide's court is that he ensures that we get everything we need to make our work easy, says journalist Yankuba Jallo of the Fourier newspaper. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to please welcome on stage Aliu Kaba Jawara, who will be receiving the GPU 2025 Press Freedom Hero Award on behalf of Justice Jaide. This award will be presented by board member Mariama Bojang.
My name is Aliou Kaba Jawara. I am clerk of court to the Honorable Justice Ibrahim Jaita. Unfortunately, His Lordship could not be here this evening, and he has sent me in his stead. However, he has written a speech for me to read out on his behalf. Distinguished guests, esteemed members of the media fraternity, representatives of the Gambia Press Union, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you this evening on behalf of the Honorable Justice Ibrahim Jaita, who, due to an unfortunate family engagement, could not be here with us tonight. He has asked me to extend his profound apologies for his absence and to convey his deep appreciation for this remarkable honor. Justice Jaita wishes to express his sincere gratitude to the Gambia Press Union for selecting him for the recipient of the 2025 Press Freedom Hero Award. He regards this recognition as an extraordinary privilege, one that reflects not only an appreciation of his individual service, but more importantly, an affirmation of the values he strives to uphold: truth, justice, transparency, and respect for fundamental freedoms. Justice Jaita also extends his heartfelt appreciation to the entire media fraternity, editors, reporters, broadcasters, photographers, camera technicians, producers, and all those whose efforts keep the nation informed and engaged. He recognizes the vital role the media plays in disseminating information, shaping public understanding, and strengthening democratic governance. To him, the media is not merely a professional institution, it is a public trust and a cornerstone of national development. He further notes that a society without a strong and independent press is a society deprived of the knowledge and accountability required for progress. The courage and resilience demonstrated by Gambian journalists, often under difficult circumstances, are, in his view, indispensable contributions to the country's democratic growth. Justice Jaita has asked me to emphasize the special relationship between the judiciary and the media, and whilst their functions differ, their ultimate objectives often intersect. The administration of justice depends on openness, the public confidence, and the media, which serves as a vital bridge between the courts and the citizens they serve. Likewise, the judiciary plays a critical role in safeguarding the freedoms upon which responsible journalism thrives. In this mutual commitment, the rule of law and democratic values find their most reliable guardians. In accepting this award, Justice Ibrahim Jaita reaffirms his unwavering commitment to the oath he swore to dispense justice without fear or favor, affection or ill will. He strives each day to embody these principles, and tonight's honor strengthens his resolve to continue serving the Gambia with integrity, impartiality, and accountability. He also wishes to thank the organizers of this ceremony for their confidence in him, as well as his colleagues in the judiciary whose dedication and professionalism uphold the foundations of justice in our nation. He extends his gratitude to his family and to all who support him in his continued service to the people of the Gambia. As we celebrate this moment, the Honorable Justice Ibrahim Jaita calls on all stakeholders, media, the judiciary, civil society, and government to remain steadfast in protecting press freedom, promoting transparency, and nurturing a society where truth and justice flourish. On behalf of the Honorable Justice Ibrahim Jaita, I extend his deepest appreciation for this honor, for your trust, and for your continued commitment to the ideals that strengthen our nation. Thank you.
The award goes to Musa Serif, the editor-in-chief of the Voice newspaper. Musa Serif's journey as a campaigner for press freedom began in 2007, when he was elected the coordinator of the Network of Human Rights Journalists in the Gambia. In his role, he organized the network's first major public awareness event on the disappearance of journalist Chief Ibrahim Mane in 2007. At a time when few dared to speak openly about the case, Sheriff brought together media leaders, politicians, journalists, and members of the Chief Mane's family to call for his release. Sheriff co-founded the Inquirer newspaper in late 1999. Despite significant challenges, including the absence of advertising revenue, the paper was published twice weekly. In 2001, after the resignation of Daily Observer editorial staff, he was contacted by Ibrahim Silla, now the Minister of War. Silla told him that the staff who resigned from the Daily Observer would be joining his paper. The following day, Sheriff was detained by the National Intelligence Agency and ordered to halt publication without explanation. The newspaper's documents were returned to him in late 2002, and publication resumed in 2003. However, after running the headline, Gambia cannot maintain two state houses, one in Kanilai and one in Banjul, he was again summoned by the NIA and instructed to stop publishing. He complied and subsequently worked as a freelance reporter for the Gambia News and Report magazine, which was published by the late doyen of Gambian journalism, Swaibu Konate. In April 2006, Sheriff was arrested, detained, tortured, and later released without charge. In August 2008, he rebranded the Inquirer newspaper as the Voice newspaper. On January 13, 2014, Sheriff was arrested in front of his children in his office alongside freelance journalist Seni Marena and charged with false publication for reporting that 19 Green youths had defected from the ruling APRC to the opposition UDP. We were charged with conspiracy to commit a felony and publication of false news with intent to cause fear and alarm to the public, he recalled. After a 10-month trial, we were acquitted by a court in Banjul. On July 1, 2015, Sheriff and 4 senior reporters of the Voice newspaper, the news editor and newsroom coordinator, then Suleiman Sise, assistant news editor Bakari Sise, senior reporter Amadou Ba and Mafuji Sise, were summoned and interrogated by the National Intelligence Agency about the paper's operations. In late September 2024, Sheriff and his deputy, Momodu Justice Dabo, were also arrested, detained, and charged by the Gambia police with false publication and broadcasting. The Inspector General of Police later withdrew the case. President Adama Barrow also initiated a civil suit against Sheriff and the Voice, which was subsequently dropped. Sheriff has mentored many young journalists in the Gambia, including the current Secretary General of the Gambia Press Union, who worked under him for 8 years as an editor, and the likes of Meta Toure, who is now a trainer at the Media Academy for Journalism. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Musa Sheriff, GPU's 2025 Press Freedom Hero. Vice President, Sheriff Seneca.
Deputy Speaker, my own mother, good evening. Dear, good evening. Madi, good evening. I'm very grateful to be here tonight and humble. All have been said. That is how we went through everything. Yes, so we have gone through all this, and I'm very grateful to be here tonight. And first, I would like to take this opportunity to commend the organizers and the committee that selected me, because without them, I was not going to be part of this family tonight. In all, I would first of all like to thank my family, who have been there all along, especially those who we struggled together, the 3 sisters, the youth, and the bar. It was not easy. It was 5 of us that were running a newspaper in this country, the Voice at that time. And we did everything to make it where we are today. So I'm very grateful, and thank you to everybody tonight. Thank you.
Ahmed Alota. Many young journalists who didn't know about this man, but hopefully today they will. The Gambia Press Union proudly recognizes, he's now a doctor, Dr. Ahmed Alota, with the 2025 Press Freedom Hero Award for outstanding dedication to promoting press freedom, freedom of expression, and media development in the Gambia. Through pioneering initiatives such as the establishment of the first ever School of Journalism in the Gambia, which is now the Media Academy for Journalism, previously called the GPU School of Journalism, Alota has strengthened the professional capacity of countless journalists in the Gambia. His leadership in organizing workshops on investigative journalism, court reporting, cybersecurity, responsible reporting on children, and gender-sensitive reporting, including the project Women's Depiction in the Mass Media, that was funded by the Canada Fund for Local Initiative, has equipped journalists with tools to report ethically, fearlessly, and accurately. Many of his proteges have gone on to occupy leadership positions in newsrooms in the Gambia and with international news media outlets, as well as contributing to journalism education within the country and beyond. A tireless advocate for freedom of expression, Alota led the project Strengthening Freedom of Expression Protections in the Gambia, in collaboration with Article 19 West Africa, which was funded by the European Union between 2011 and 2012, advancing national policies to safeguard media rights. His advocacy has, however, come at a great personal risk, having been arrested and detained multiple times. He is also a co-author of A Living Mirror, The Life of Deda Haidara, a seminal work depicting the danger of practicing journalism in Africa, using the drive-by assassination of journalist Deda Haidara in December 2004 as a case study. The book has been adopted by the Open Society Initiative for West Africa, OSIWA, as a key advocacy tool and is endorsed by Reporters Without Borders, amplifying campaigns promoting press freedom across the region. Beyond these accomplishments, Alota has served on media self-regulatory committees and juries for the National Journalism Awards, mentoring the next generation of journalists and championing higher standards of professionalism. This award celebrates his unwavering courage, dedication, and commitment to a free, fair, and robust media landscape in the Gambia. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Mr. Demba Ali Jaw, who will be receiving this GPU 2025 Press Freedom Hero Award on behalf of Alota.
I'm definitely happy to receive this award on behalf of my friend, Dr. Aloa Ahmed Alota, who is presently in Canada. Ahmed definitely had been an advocate for press freedom, and he did quite a lot for press freedom in this country. As Secretary General Diouf said, it was a time when it was not fashionable to be a journalist in this country. A very dangerous situation it was. But Ahmed Pasper, he actually did the work despite all the dangers that he faced. And he did a great work as far as GPU management was concerned. So definitely he deserves this award. And I have absolutely no doubt that the GPU didn't find it very difficult to choose him as one of the awardees. So on behalf of Ahmed and everybody else, I wish to thank the GPU and everybody who was involved in selecting me. Thank you very much.
The final award that we are giving tonight is a posthumous award for journalist Pamodu Fall. Pamodu Fall, who was known as Koto, served in various boards of the Gambia Press Union since 2008. He was a treasurer of the GPU from 2011 to 2015. In 2018, he was made the chairperson of the GPU Board Programs Committee. He was humble, soft-spoken, and overall, a wonderful human being who stood for promoted and defended press freedom and freedom of expression in the Gambia during the most difficult period in our history of journalism in the country. He, together with 5 other journalists, were arrested, tried, and sentenced to 2 years in prison for sedition in 2009 over a GPU statement on the killing of journalist Deda Haidara. Pa Modou had over 20 years of experience working for several media outlets, including the defunct Independent newspaper, the Daily Observer newspaper as well. He also worked for the Point newspaper and had served as a founder, member, and former president of the Association of Health Journalists in the Gambia, and also the African Media and Malaria Research Network, the Gambian chapter, AMREN Gambian chapter. He has also worked as an information officer with the Ministry of Health and was the founder of the consultancy firm Focus Media Consulting, which offered training and works on media and public relations and communication. In November 2020, Pa Modou Fall was a motivated participant in the Media Run Challenge, pioneered by the managing director of the JPU School of Journalism, which is now the Media Academy for Journalism. This is good for health, he said of the event, adding it was important for journalists to keep fit. Fall was also an advocate for professionalism in the media and has on several occasions implored on journalists to uphold their code of conduct. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Mohamed Fall and Nafissatou Fall, son and daughter of the late Pa Modou Fall, who would be receiving this 2025 Press Freedom Hero Award on behalf of their father.
To stand here today to accept this award on behalf of our beloved father. This recognition is a testament to his tireless dedication to journalism and his passion to telling stories that make a difference. Through his career, he inspired us with his curiosity, his compassion, and his unwavering commitment to truth. This award is a reminder of the impact he had on our lives and the lives of those he taught through his work. We are grateful for the time we had with him and proud of the legacy he leaves behind. We would like to thank the organization for this incredible honor, and we are sure our dad will be thrilled to know that his work will continue to inspire others. Thank you so much.
Presentations.
We were told that give credit where it's due. One of the awardees, Madam Agnes Tomasi, during her citation, someone said she gave chance to women, encouraged them to become good journalists and serve their respective countries and communities. I'll tell you this, I am standing here because of this woman. She saw me when I was going to university. She saw the potential in me that I've not. She believed in me, she encouraged me, and today, I'm the best radio journalist in the whole of West Africa. Special thanks to her. I would like to give a special recognition to Momo Diba, the Executive Director of the National Social Protection Agency. But again, I would like to give a special recognition to Seth Tijan C. The reason being, Mr. C is a seasoned investigative journalism professional. And I'll tell you this, the best investigative medium in the Gambia is Mulligan, without a doubt. And Mulligan came to being after an investigative training conducted by this great man. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, sir. Truly thank you. At this juncture, to be put aside, because Janet has someone important to introduce. But before then, ladies and gentlemen, I still have the president of the Gambia Press Union to give special recognition to certain individuals who have been very supportive to the Gambia Press Union.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to pop up here again. This I would have done during my statement, but part of what we do in terms of is looking at the welfare of our journalists, but also individuals that have supported us, especially our members who have never waited for us to call them, but always committed to the cause of the Gambia Press Union. So I would like to invite my predecessor, Mohamed Esba. Please join me on stage to help me give these certificates to these individuals for their immense contribution to the Gambia Press Union. One of them is Yankuba Jallo. Yankuba, please join us on stage. And very controversial, but when it comes to Gambia Press Union, he never jokes with it in terms of his dues and his commitment to also ensuring that he holds us to account. Yankuba. Demba Kande is also one of our very committed GPU members. He's not here, but I'd like to invite Aliu Badara Sow to receive the certificate on behalf of Mr. Demba Kande. Mustafa Sise of the Media Academy for Journalism and Communication. He's not around. James Mendy, please receive the certificate on behalf of Mustafa. Tina. Yusef Taylor. Okay, it's fine. Last but not the least is the Fatu Network. This
was crossed path with this gentleman who speak nothing but kind words. He's a beautiful soul. We've also lost Modu Lamin Sanya of Star FM. Please, crave your indulgence to just rise up. Let's observe a minute silence for our departed brothers. Please.
It is a great pleasure and privilege to stand before you this evening to deliver the keynote speech at the Gambia Press Union's 10th National Journalism Award, as we gather to honor excellence, dedication, and integrity within our media fraternity. This remarkable milestone, 10 years of celebrating journalistic excellence, marks not only the achievements of individuals, but the evolution of Gambian media itself, the strengthening of our democratic values, and the collective journey we continue to walk as a nation to promote openness, accountability, and the rule of law. This year's theme, a decade of excellence, strengthening journalism for democracy, accountability, and safety for journalists, is profoundly befitting. It captures three powerful truths. First, that excellence in journalism is not accidental. It is earned, cultivated, and sustained through professionalism, dedication, and commitment to ethical reporting. Second, that journalism is a cornerstone of any functioning democracy, holding power to account and giving citizens the information they need to participate meaningfully in national life. And third, that the safety and security of journalists is not a privilege, but a right, one that must be protected by all actors, including the state, the media industry, and society at large. Over the past decade, the Gambia Press Union has played an instrumental role in transforming the media environment through training, through advocacy, partnerships, And of course, these annual awards, the GPU has fostered a culture of excellence that we can all be proud of. Your efforts have strengthened the fabric of our democracy and empowered countless journalists to pursue the truth with courage and clarity. And as a government, we acknowledge the central role that a vibrant, independent, and responsible media plays in advancing national development. We understand that press freedom is not a favor to be granted, but a right to be protected. And we remain committed to fostering an environment where journalists can work without fear, intimidation, or undue interference. At the same time, we also champion responsible journalism. Journalism that upholds truth, fairness, and accuracy. Journalism that resists sensationalism and that places public interest above personal or political interest. It is only through this balance between freedom and responsibility and freedom and accountability that our media can achieve its highest potential. And I repeat, the balance between freedom on one hand and accountability and responsibility on the other must be preserved. No republic, no democracy, no matter where in the world, creates a system where journalists operate with freedom that has no control, that is not checked. Freedom goes with accountability. It goes with responsibility. That must be clear. And the Republic of the Gambia, under the leadership of the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, will provide the enabling environment for the media to thrive, for journalists to operate freely without fear or favor, without intimidation, but they must be held accountable for their actions that go against the law. We all remember, we don't have to go that far. The only tribe that was persecuted, jailed, exiled, forcefully disappeared, tortured, was only one tribe in this country, because they were persecuted because they belonged to a group, and these were journalists, not Mandinkas, not Wolofs, not Jolas, not Sarahulis. Journalists were persecuted in this country because they belonged to a group called journalists. That is not happening anymore. You operate freely, without any interference, without no intimidation, no arrests, no enforced disappearances, no killings, no tortures. This is the dispensation we are living under. But you must operate with responsibility, and you must be held accountable for your actions. This is the republic. This is how a republic functions. Equally, we recognize that the journey toward a free and vibrant press is ongoing. Journalism is a public good, and for it to thrive, we must ensure that those who carry out this essential work do so in an environment that is safe, supportive, and conducive to professional growth. The Minister of Information, Media and Broadcasting Services remains committed to deepening reforms, strengthening media laws, and advancing policies that expand freedom of expression, improve access to information, and protect the rights of journalists. We also recognize the challenges that persist, of course. Issues of misinformation and disinformation, digital safety threats, limited resources in newsrooms, and the rise of online harassment, particularly gender-based digital violence against women journalists. These challenges are not unique to the Gambia alone. They are part of a global shift in the information ecosystem, but they demand local solutions grounded in collaboration, capacity building, and mutual respect. This is why a multi-stakeholder engagement remains essential. Government, civil society, academia, media houses, Regulatory institutions and development partners must work hand in hand to build a resilient media landscape, one that can navigate the complexities of the digital age while upholding timeless principles of accuracy, fairness, and integrity. I wish to reaffirm the Gambia government's commitment to, number one, supporting ongoing law reforms that promote media freedom and responsibility. Number two, strengthening institutional collaboration, including Gambia Press Union, the Media Council, the Information Commission, the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority, and partners across other sectors. Number three, enhancing access to information, recognizing it as a foundation of transparency and accountability. Number four, promoting digital literacy and safety to protect journalists operating both offline and online. And number five, ensuring that the safety of journalists remains a national priority in line with global standards and regional commitments. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate a decade of excellence, we also acknowledge the tireless commitment of the GPU in championing press freedom, promoting ethical journalism, and amplifying the voice of the voiceless. The union's work continues to inspire greater professionalism within the sector and reinforces the essential role of the media in safeguarding transparency, accountability, and the public interest. And tonight, again, as we honor the very best of Gambian journalism, let us also renew our shared vision for the future, a future where journalists are empowered and protected, a future where professionalism triumphs over sensationalism, a future where facts prevail over falsehood, and a future where media continues to serve as a catalyst for development, peace, and democratic consolidation. To all the nominees and award recipients, let me express my heartfelt congratulations. Your stories, investigations, your photographs, and broadcasts have illuminated our nation's triumphs, exposed injustices, and amplified unheard voices. You remind us that journalism is not just a career, it is a public service, a responsibility, and often a sacrifice. May this 10th anniversary serve as a renewed call to uphold the highest standards of profession and to keep pushing the boundaries of excellence. And may the next decade bring even greater achievements as we collectively strengthen journalism for democracy, accountability, and the safety of all who do this noble job. To conclude, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate with award winners tonight, let us recommit ourselves to the values that make journalism indispensable: truth, courage, and service to the public. The stories we tell shape the nation we build, and the headlines we write, and the questions we ask move the Gambia closer to justice, accountability, and hope. I thank you, and I wish you all a memorable and inspiring evening.
The first thing we ask ourselves is the story even worthy of being told and shared with the public? We also look at the accuracy and factuality of the stories that are submitted. Are the sources credible? Are the facts supported by evidence or multiple sources? What context is the story presented? Are the quotes properly attributed or even accurate? Are the numbers and data believable and properly interpreted? Is the story devoid of bias or spin, among other things? As a jury, stories that are high on speculations but light on facts are a no-no for us. The third one we look at is the style, the grammar, and the presentation techniques that are employed by the reporters. We also look at the originality and the creativity that is employed by the reporter. The fifth aspect of the evaluation we look at is the public benefit and impact. This is particularly significant because in our craft, public interest is the raison d'etre of news organizations. In simplistic terms, awareness raising, we try to establish the extent to which a story galvanizes national conversation around the subject at hand, whether it exposes wrongdoing or brings to light transparency and accountability question, or how it might have contributed to policy or structural change. Overall, there are a good number of entries received which attests to the reputable nature of the awards among the journalism community in the Gambia. The entries were a mix of both strong stories, making the competition very keen, and also a significant number of not so good entries. There was accountability journalism, advocacy journalism, and solutions journalism, the type of stories highlighting the myriad of issues in the Gambia. The stories shortlisted for this year's awards. The stories that are shortlisted for this year's awards were those very compelling, treated in depth, enterprising in nature, and containing verifiable sources, clear and well-structured reports. The reporters behind these stories made significant efforts to include multimedia elements such as location maps, data visualization, multiplicity of voices or perspectives, pictorial documentations, and clear and punchy descriptive language that enrich the story better. In the case of video or TV entries, there were good drone shots and good actuality sounds, good visuals and evidence of field reporting. At this juncture, I cannot talk about the nominated stories without waxing lyrical about the outstanding performance of our young and dynamic female reporters. Aside from the sports and tax reporting categories, every other category has at least one young woman shortlisted. This is not only to say that only those nominated did well. If not for very small margins, any other reporter could have earned a spot on the list of nominees. In terms of the diversity of the stories that are shortlisted for tonight's awards, 10 come from television, whilst online publications account for 36. This is indeed not surprising at all, given the exponential growth in internet-based articles, which also serve as a leading source of the news diet for a lot of people. 2 audio stories were also received for our evaluation, even if they didn't make the grade in the end. That is something we'd love to see in the future. So, what are the downsides? What are the areas that could have been improved upon? A good number of the stories were straight news articles with very little creativity and depth. Some suffered editorial gaps like typos, and some unlabeled photo inserts. No graphics or images even in some of the stories. Some of the URLs could not open, and the PDF versions did not fully display the stories, making it difficult to assess other features of the story. Quantitative analysis of the data would have been helpful and would have enriched the story. Some journalists submitted more than one entry to more than one category. That should be subsequently addressed by the GPU for fairness purposes. Quite a number of stories were also published in collaboration with foreign journalists and on international media platforms. While this is acceptable and whilst it also gives international visibility to the issues, it definitely skews the competition in favor of such international platforms that usually provide better editorial support to journalists. The credibility of the awards depends on fairness and clarity. For this reason, we strongly believe that only stories produced and fully edited within Gambian newsrooms should be eligible for the competition. Articles written for international media are saved by editors who work with deeper experience, strong institutional support, and far greater resources than those available locally. Allowing such works to compete directly with news reports produced under the constraints of Gambian newsrooms creates an unequal contest and risks overshadowing the very journalists the awards are designed to recognize here. This is for the GPU to decide. This is just our candid observation. The awards should celebrate excellence that emerge from within the Gambian's own editorial ecosystem, not work elevated by international infrastructures. But the question that some people also ask, should there be anything called Gambian journalism? Should we qualify everything generally as quality journalism? Because journalism, they say, knows no borders, just like any work of art, including music. There was an uncategorized category. This we thought should be scrapped subsequently. It really doesn't add anything to the awards. If the journalists cannot determine the focus area of their story, I don't think it should be the jury's duty to do so. Of the 7 categories for which submissions were made, only photojournalism failed to make the cut, with no single nominee at all for the 3rd year in a row. Like the 2 previous years, there appears to be a lack of clear understanding as to what exactly this category entails. Then again, the onus therefore falls on the GPU to come up with a clearly defined guideline to help our very hardworking brothers and sisters in this industry to do what truly ought to be done under this category. With our media schools offering photography programs these days, there's no reason why we cannot use our camera lenses to tell powerful stories and showcase impactful visuals around issues that matter to us as a people. I'm sure we've all heard about Kevin Carter's The Vulture and the Little Girl, 1994. That haunting image of a Sudanese child struggling to survive during the famine. It would be a tall order for our peers on the home front to submit works of that repute today, but at a time when a young female photographer etched her name in the sandy banks of continental Africa, there's no doubting that the mammoth potential of Gambian photojournalists. Another issue that made the process very cumbersome and time-consuming is the uploading of full news bulletins by certain journalists. This has forced us to rewind or forward video files just to situate where exactly a particular story begins and ends. On to another important matter, that is the question of artificial intelligence. Journalists, like every other country or every sector, should be free to use AI for background research, idea development or organizational support, and also archive or transcription tool, just like any other search engine. But using AI to write entire stories for us crosses an ethical boundary. It misrepresents authorship, underlines the craft of reporting, and erodes trust in the GPU awards. We came across a lot of these stories that were written with the help of AI. A journalist's strength lies in their ability to investigate, verify, and tell stories with insight and accountability. Delegating that core work to a machine is not innovation, but a form of cheating. Other than that, we haven't flagged any other major flouting of ethics that underpin journalistic storytelling in these year's hours. To the credit of the reporters, stories revolving around minors, victims of right violations, the courts, etc., largely conform to the required critical signposts bordering on the usage of names, images, and the minimization of harm. We applaud Gambian news organizations for playing by the rule books at a time when journalism practice is increasingly finding itself under the magnifying glass due to the tangled web of challenges posed by technological innovations. In this era of deepfakes, the stakes are very high. The field has changed for good. To conclude, I would like to thank the people sitting high on the GPU food chain for the trust and confidence bestowed upon us to carry out this important exercise. Personally, this will be my last dance on this stage in this capacity. The time has come for new perspectives on fresh energy and new ideas to take the awards to the next level. To the reporters, I would encourage you to always strive for excellence, never settle for less. Remember, there's no shortcut to lasting success. Not being nominated, ladies and gentlemen, in this year's awards should never deter anyone from smashing it some other year. To the winners who will emerge here tonight, never sit on your laurels. Complacency, they say, is a slow-moving tide that quietly erodes the shoreline of progress. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Please. Well, the moment we've all been waiting for is here. Tonight is the night. It is that time of the night when we get to know who is going home with what. But before then, everybody is a winner. All the nominees are winners. In fact, every journalist in this country is a winner. regardless of being nominated, regardless of being a recipient, we are all winners. So long as you're serving the interest of the public, you are a winner. Janet, seems like we are getting close.
Thank you, yes. Like the Mandinkas will say, Liro Futata Tomatole.
Indeed.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. And mashallah, like I said, congratulations to all the nominees. Like Sankule has rightly put it, it doesn't matter whether you go home with an award or not, you're basically a winner. And we are saying congratulations once again. We're honored to be here with you to share your journey. We know it has been a long one, of course with challenges here and there, but at least you never gave up. And also, as always, putting the interest of the public first, informing, educating, and entertaining Gambians at the end of the day. So we basically want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you once again. And of course, we'll go through the various and respective categories of the reporting exam that we have for this year's National Journalism Awards 2025.
Yes, indeed, Fajane. We are all set now. And the first awards to be mentioned this evening is the tax category. The tax category award. Technician, please introduce this award before we give you who the nominees are. Under this category, we have very interesting names and of course renowned journalists who are doing tremendous work, and the names go by this. First you have Mustafa K. Dabo of the Republic. Mustafa K. Dabo of the Republic. Well, his story is titled Russian Sanctions versus Fine Gambian Heroin. Russian oil scandal tax reporting category. Well, a U.S. sanctioned Russian illegally reported $29 million worth of diesel in the Gambia, sold it and sent the money to the UAE without paying tax or any fines. Well, Muscovite Yulia Alexandrova, Sagiva 46, who is behind the supertanker loaded with the diesel through United Arab Emirates, registered company to Banjul in April 2023, has been previously sanctioned by the United States for aiding the Russian economy in war with Ukraine. And transferring Russian money and assets to the UAE, nearly 36,000 tons of diesel were loaded at the Russian Black Sea port of Novorossiysk on 2 April 2023 and transferred at sea to Greek own tanker MT Perilous, which then sailed on to Banjul. Once the storage tanks of the state oil distributor Gulf Petroleum GP Sovereignty Company in Apoji, FZC, was able to sell other heads of the usual importers and contributors into the local market to the dismay. The local OMCs complained to GP, which had given over 80% of its capacity to Apoji, but to no effect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is our singular honor to welcome, we have GRA and CG Babukar Njai to come on stage. Please hand over this award to Mustafa K. Dabo because he is the only nominee.
National Journalism Awards. Next, we have the agriculture reporting category. And we'll get the nominees.
Fatu Dahaba, the Alcamba Times, Medical Reporting Award goes to Mamadou Diallo. Congratulations.
I'm humbled and happy to win this award. I know a lot of people will say, why health? Because this ugly face here has been unanimous to sports, if I should say that. But as journalists, we endeavor to go out of our comfort zone and report the stories. And I felt, like Farmer said, we need to tell stories that are impactful, that are of essence to our society. And I was very much keen to tell the story of the mounting number of road accidents in our country. This is one of the most important and concerning issue that is happening in the Gambia. On a daily basis or on a weekly basis, you hear reports of road accidents in our country, fatalities that could have been avoided. So I decided to go out of my comfort zone of sports and report about the mounting cases of road fatalities or road traffic accidents in the Gambia. So that's what won me this award, and I dedicate this award to all road traffic accident victims in the Gambia. Let's amplify the voice, because these road traffic accidents could be avoided. A lot of them are avoidable. So let's endeavor to amplify the message and try to make sure that we reduce or minimize road traffic accidents in the Gambia. The life you save may be your own life. Thank you all.
Political reporting category, and the nominees are, we have Maimuna.
Political reporting category nominees: Maimuna, TRT. Story title: Thousands protest in Gambia over corruption scandal. Manjara Kanga, PTV. Story title: The Evolution of Gambia's Constitution. Yankuba Jalo, Korea. Story title: Where religion once served as oppressive regime.
Nominees, and we are glad to say humbly call on National Social Protection Agency Executive Director, who is no other than Modu Tiba. Please welcome on stage.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure once again to be associated with this award. On behalf of the National Social Protection Agency, I have the honor to announce the winner of the Children's Reporting Award. As I said before, I have the honor to announce the winner of the Children's Reporting Award, and the winner is Mustafa Kedal.
Mariana, Star TV. Story title: Illegal logging and charcoal production threatens Gambia's biodiversity. Talibe Haider and Mariana Sangano, The Republic. Story title: The opaque mining deal, gambling with Gambia's future.
Good evening. It's my pleasure to report the winners of the category Environment Reporting Award 2025. And the winner for this award is Talibe Haider and Maria Sangano.
Now, Michael will then receive the award on behalf of the recipients of the winner of the category. Thank you very much.
Agriculture. And we are honored to call.
Good evening, everyone. It's a privilege and honor to participate in this year's awards night. And the Agricultural Reporting Award goes to Talib Haider of California. And the title is How Some Division Violated Court Order in Selling James Cattle. Congratulations to Mr. Talib Haider.
The next category is the Human Rights Reporting category, and the nominees are
Human Rights Reporting category. Halimatu Cisse, She-Tail Media Network. Title, I Am Gambana, Not a City. Janhit Ture, Gambia Radio and Television Services. Story titled, The Struggle for Drinkable Water in Tuba Wapa. Mariama Sankano, The Republic. Story titled, U.S. trial of Gambian death squad. Forced torture, but victim's family demands murder accountability.
Thank you. We at the National Human Rights Commission are pleased to be associated with this, with the Gambia Press Union Awards. And we are happy to have support to support this particular prize, Human Rights Report, for the past 3 years. And we look forward to continuous and progressive partnership with GPU. And I have the honor to announce the winner of this year's Human Rights Reporting Award, Halimatu Cisse.
Supporting this particular category for 3 consecutive years, and we say a very big thank you to them, and for also supporting the work of the Gambia Press Union. Next category, please.
Before the next category, my instinct tells me.
Legal Affairs Report.
My instinct tells me the Human Rights Commission will support next year.
The Republic. Story titled, The Order to Shoot and Kill Sorosante. Yankuba Jalo, 4 AM newspaper. Story titled, Undoing Chana's Legacy, Gambia's Dormant Reform Engine.
Of course, and it's my single honor.
We're also very pleased to be associated with the GPU Awards. And hopefully we will support again next year, inshallah. You can always count on us. The award for the Legal Affairs Reporting category goes to Aisha Talba.
Migration and human trafficking, and the nominees are
Migration and Human Trafficking Reporting category. Nominees. Asambas, 4 AM newspaper. Story title, Saudi labor deal leave Gambian migrants in despair. Khadija Al Jazeera, story title, I Will Die Trying. Gambian migrant deportees dream of return to Europe. Mustafa Kedato, The Republic, story titled, Reintegration or Return to Despair. IOM in the Gambia feels partly returning.
I have the single honor to announce the winner in this category, Migration, Human Trafficking, of this hour. Who guess? Who could be the one? I believe so is Mustafa Soda.
It's always been a pleasure being here at the Gambia Press Union Awards. The only thing I have noticed, and I was looking at it all along, was my friend at the corner, Sekou, when he started the awards, we thought it was not possible. And when I came, I had a small picture of him at the corner. I thought it should be in the middle. It's a long way coming, you know. I mean, for some of us who were here in the first days, those days, even press conferences, you are wondering who is a journalist and who is an NIO agent. And at the awards, even back at Djembe, we had those concerns too. Yeah. And I remember I had a conversation with Sekou about it when he said he was going to start a journalism awards. And I said, well, I hope you thought about this very well, because it doesn't look like it's possible. He said, no, we will do it. He's an optimistic type, and he did it. And some of the folks came from back then state institutions, state broadcaster and other places, and they came, and yeah, the rest is history. 10 years, we are still here, and we are still alive. Thank you.
Elijah Mustafa Kedao and Mohammed Diop. The Republic. Story title: How Exporting Fish Meals Spars Countries of Global Profits Despite Adamant Risk to Environment. Talibé Hyderabad, Ford, nepotism, and failed contracts sinks state-ordered printer business. Authors Joseph, Usman Sidikan, and Talibé. Yankuba Jallo, Fourier newspaper. Story title: USAID cuts threaten Gambia's transitional justice.
Ladies and gentlemen, your nominees. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, when I was coming up, my staff were screaming and shouting. And if I didn't be a bit difficult, then I wouldn't be me. Am I right in saying that there was one category where the winners are here, but the presenter is not here and they skipped it? Or did I get that wrong? Because it makes no sense. If the winners are here, I think they should get the award, but maybe I misjudged it, but I'm sure I heard them say, let's skip it. So please, we need to remedy that. And now, it is my singular honor to give this for the Business and Finance Reporting Award. Trust me, by the end of the night, you'll get to know these names very well. This is a joint award, and the winners are Kadi Jao, Mustafa Kedao, and Mohammed Diop. So please, are you here?
On the impact of fish meals on lives and livelihood in the Gambia, Senegal, and Mauritania as well.
Mohamed Diop, Gambia Radio and Television Services. Title: Gambia Forces Military Capabilities. Yankuba Jallo, Fourier newspaper. Story title: General's Final Days impasse reveals lapses in care report theft of Bora Queen in military custody.
Good evening.
I have the honor to announce my Mugapa as the winner of the State Reporting Award.
Congratulations.